Hey,
Hey
Cara,
Matt.
see you there.
Hey, how's it going?
All right. Thanks for
Good.
joining us.
Yeah, no problem.
So we got the live stream going, just to let you know. But if I don't know if you're planning, if we could have you introduce Stacy before she gives her, just we'll swear her in and just do the
Okay,
introduction, and
sure.
then we'll take her comment, and then we'll see what happens from there.
Yeah. Yeah. Cindy even mentioned in her presentation, she's like, there is a hearing today for one of the rulemakings. So I
Right.
didn't feel so bad. Yeah.
The PSC in action.
Yep.
Hey, Peter, I see you there. You're muted, but we're going to get started at 10. There'll
Okay.
be a brief statement from commission staff, and then we'll open up the hearing for public comments. I just want to let you know if we have a number of comments, about 80 comments on file so far. Just in case if you've filed a comment already in writing, it's going to count the same and the commission will see it just as well as if you speak today. So give you that, just want to give you that information before we get started. We got a few more seconds left, so we'll get started right at 10 o'clock. Unless I'm busy typing. Okay, we're about to get ready. I'm just going to wait another second and make sure people just starting to join now. They don't realize that I'm the one letting them in as well and
Hmm.
running the hearing. So we'll just take a minute here and get people in the hearing. Well, perhaps no, there they are. Oh yeah, recognize these names. All right, well, I'll slow down a little bit. Maybe we can take our chances and get started. There'll still be some time before we take comments. So let's get on the record here. Welcome, everyone. This is Docket 1 AC 257, proposed revisions for Wisconsin Administrative Code, Chapter PSC 113 for individual electric metering. My name is Michael Newmark, the Administrative Law Judge for the PSC. We're here in a public hearing. So this is a rulemaking, so we're just here to take public comments on the rule. I wanted to mention we have 80 comments on file in writing so far. This is the opportunity for the public to comment live, and we're transcribing what you're hearing. So the transcript will be provided to the commissioners when they make their decision to accept this proposed rule. The transcript and the written comments we have on file are considered equally. They have equal weight. The commissioners will see them. And really, they'll all be in writing because it'll be in what you say here today will be presented to the commission in the form of a transcript. And by the way, we are live streaming the hearing on YouTube, and there will be a YouTube recording of the hearing, but that's for public convenience only. It's not part of the record in the case. So the public comments that we receive in writing, we'll continue to accept those up until Monday, March 24th. And as you can see on our notice of hearing that's on the screen share, there's a link to our public comment website, goes directly to the public comment page for this case. So that's your most convenient way of commenting and writing. You can also mail the comments to us at the address listed on our notice of hearing. So, probably all we need to do for preliminaries. At this point, I'm going to turn off the screen share and we'll begin with commission staff statement. So we do have commission staff Stacy Schumacher in attendance to give that statement. So why don't we go ahead, Attorney Kuntz, and introduce our witness.
I'm Kara Kuntz, Assistant General Counsel at the Public Service Commission, and I'm gonna turn it over to Stacy Schumacher. She's a policy advisor at the Public Service Commission. She's going to provide a statement on the rule, 1 AC 257.
Great. So let me swear you in, witness Schumacher. Do you swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
All right. So go ahead with your statement.
Good morning. My name is Stacy Schumacher. I'm a policy advisor at the Public Service Commission of Wisconsin in the Division of Digital Access, Consumer, and Environmental Affairs. The Commission has proposed to amend Wisconsin Administrative Code Chapter PSC 113-0803, which relates to the individual electric metering requirements for non-transient multi-dwelling unit residential buildings, mobile home parks, and commercial establishments. This rule was originally created in response to the Public Utility Regulatory Policies Act of 1978, which was implemented to encourage the conservation of electric energy, increased efficiency in the use of facilities and resources by electric utilities, and equitable rates for electric customers, among other goals. The Commission's rule was originally promulgated in 1980, and the section relating to individual electric meters was last revised in 2002, and generally requires that each dwelling in a multi-dwelling residential building and mobile home park, and each tenant space in a commercial building constructed or renovated after March 1st, 1980, must have its electric service individually metered. There are existing exceptions to this requirement identified in the code and specific circumstances under which the Commission may grant a waiver to the rule. In recent years, the Commission has received an increasing number of requests for waivers of this rule from both utilities and individual property owners who would be affected by the metering requirements. The updates to this rule would address the emerging considerations raised through recent waiver requests and support simplicity and clarity in future applications of the rule. Commission staff completed a fiscal estimate and economic impact analysis and concluded that the rulemaking should have no or minimal economic impact. That analysis also assessed that the proposed rule would not impact small businesses as defined in WSStat section 227-114. Commission staff also completed an evaluation of any potential impact of the rule on housing as directed by WSStat Wisconsin Statute Section 227-115, and found that the rulemaking could have impacts on the topics covered by that housing analysis, but that due to many interrelated factors and limited data availability, the impacts are generally indeterminate at this time. The proposed rule would modify the situations in which the rule would apply in order to better reflect current and emerging technologies, and would update and clarify the standards that the Commission must apply when considering grounds for a waiver of this rule. The Commission directed staff to put the proposed rule language out for comment, and will review comments received on the various changes proposed before deciding on a final version of rule language to be submitted for review by the Governor's Office and Legislature. This concludes my statement.
Okay, thanks very much. So now it's the opportunity for the public to comment. The way Zoom has you listed, it's basically alphabetical order, but I do note that Peter Kilday did join us first. So I think I'm gonna skip order and go to him first if he does wish to comment, and then we'll move to the alphabetical list. So if you mind unmuting, basic process, like I mentioned before, this comment will be transcribed, and the commission will read the transcription of your comment. So if you did already comment in writing, then it'll basically be the same. It'll be a duplicate of potentially. Basically the process will be, I'll just swear you in, have you state your name, and have you give your opinion on the proposal. So first of all, raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, state your name, please.
My name is Peter Kilday.
All right, go ahead with your comment.
Okay, well, I'm pleased to be first here. And first of all, I would like to give a brief introduction just to lay some groundwork in terms of my connection to this issue that may be useful in your consideration of my comments. First of all, I'm just retired as 30 years of executive director of WESCAP. It's Poverty Alleviation Community Action Agency in West Central Wisconsin. And we, in the course of the last 30 years, have constructed, either alone or in partnership with others, about 1,000 units of affordable housing development in our part of the country. So we have a lot of experience.
So, sir, I'm just going to interrupt for a second.
Yeah.
So we're trying to type along with your words. So if you could just slow down a bit, that may be helpful for us.
Okay.
All right. Thanks.
Yeah, I don't know how many other people are wanting to be on here, so I guess perhaps I was a little rushed, but I will slow down.
We'll stay as long as we have people who want to speak, so that's fine.
Okay. It may also be of interest, just in terms of my perspective here, that for 20 of those years I was executive director at WESCAP. I also served on the national board of the National Community Action Partnership. It's the member organization of 1,000 plus community action agencies in 99% of the counties of America. And they have had the experience in recent years of the impact of climate change. And in one of my last efforts on that board, I was able to get established a funded program called the Partnership for Climate Resilience to help CAP agencies adapt to climate change around the country. It may also be of interest to this group. I serve on the board of Slipstream. They've been involved in many ways around building science and all of that related to climate change. I served as their chair. I served as the chair of one of their preceding member organizations, WEC. So perhaps of most use in this particular conversation is in partnership with the Gerard Corporation. WESCAP created 1,300 residents in River Falls, Wisconsin. We did get a single meter accommodation from the municipality there. And that project has, amongst other things, been nationally recognized. It won the probably top national award for green and healthy housing, affordable housing, called Edson Award in 2022. We were featured by the Office of Community Services at HHS with a video on Earth Day. And we also, again, perhaps most useful here, have a lot of experience with single meters and the benefits of that. So to talk about that just a little bit, so with this single meter waiver, we in a very high rent and highly increasing cost area of River Falls, Wisconsin, we're able to provide very high quality housing for people at 80% of county median income down to below 30%, and have not had to increase rents, didn't have to increase rents in the first 3 years. Okay, when everybody else's rents are really going up. And a big part of that is being able to control the energy cost. Again, there are a couple of very important pieces here with the single meter and the implementation of some very technical and modern systems like commercial air source heat pumps for the entire building, technology called variable refrigerant flow, which allows the building to adapt to one side being warmer than the other if the sun is there and it's hot, or colder in the winter and whatnot, and is a much more efficient system. In our actual experience, that has reduced the energy cost. We have a net metering relationship with the city, so it's based on, under 7 cents a kilowatt hour. But even at that, it's saved the property about $17,000 a year. If it was at the commercial rate of 15, it'd be over $35,000. And lowering those operating costs makes a huge difference for what we're able to do. It amounts to up to $700 per resident in this affordable housing project. A couple other things about that. One of the ways personally that I've approached this kind of work is that everybody benefits. So obviously the residents benefit by, affordable housing right there. The city benefited by having really good, high quality workforce housing down near the retail part of town that people could afford to work in those jobs and still live in that neighborhood. The benefit from the city was also economic. We employed all kinds of local contractors in building this $12 million project. The other pieces that, are, important kind of relate to, the future we all share. I pay a lot of attention just from this resume, you might get that, about the future that's actually coming, and being able to deal with less energy and less emissions and all of that is going to be increasingly important. So also looking at, the benefit of the utilities. I know there's, some resistance to this, but I would also point out that, the distributed benefits of generation from photovoltaic tends to generate electricity when the demand is highest, either when it's very hot or very cold, or when these, perform extremely well. And just citing an article from the New York Times yesterday about the recent Lawrence Livermore study that anticipates that electric demand is going to be going up for computers and data centers by 2 or 3 times the current use by 2028. And anything, utilities are going to be scrambling to meet that need, let alone hit their climate objectives. And again, I just see this waiver being able to do these kind of systems as benefiting everybody. And there's nobody that's cut out of that. It works for all. So, in our system, we have been denied a single meter in a project in Eau Claire, Prairie Heights. Again, so great expense, you know, to put in all those meters, they basically serve no function. And nobody benefits from that. The cost of operating the building and those costs, you know, meter charges passed on to low-income tenants, there's no benefit to that. So again, you know, in the state of Wisconsin, where according to the National Low Income Housing Coalition, we're about 130,000 affordable housing units short of meeting the need. So anything to help keep these projects affordable, I think is extremely important. And then finally, I just comment also on another project that I'm very familiar with, the project in La Crosse, Wisconsin, Haven on Main, that a sister community action agency applied for a waiver. I thought their rationale was excellent and it was denied under the current rule. So again, unnecessary cost, you know, to the community and to the people that really need that lower cost housing. So in terms of specifics around the proposed language, I guess I would just refer you to the language and recommendations of the clean energy advocates. I know these organizations, I studied that document. I don't see any problems with it. And if you want to add my support to that recommendation, I would appreciate it. And those are my comments.
All right. Well, thank you very much for taking the time to make them. I appreciate that.
Can I just ask one question?
Yeah, off the record. Yeah, go ahead.
There was something Maine, Cava, Maine, or
I'm sorry, that was Haven on Main.
Haven on
Which-
Maine. That's okay.
Affordable housing project in La Crosse.
That's all I needed. Thank you.
Thank you. You bet.
Thanks. All right, so we'll move on to other comments. Next person on my list is Jessica Hudson Polakowski. Any comment?
Nothing from me, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, thanks. We also have, looks like Kaya Fox, Executive Director, and yeah, there we go. So I'm gonna swear you in. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, give us your name, please.
Hi, my name is Kaya Fox. I'm the Executive Director at Habitat for Humanity of the Greater La Crosse region. We serve 5 counties in the state of Wisconsin, and we wholly support any type of advocacy work that helps promote access to safe and affordable housing for moderate to low-income families in our community. And so we are absolutely on board in supporting the necessary changes to allow for master metering to be easier for especially affordable housing developers to cut costs. I know we all know the stats in the state of Wisconsin and nationwide about the lack of affordable housing to families in our communities. And so we stand behind our other advocates in our community and supporting ways in which we can develop more affordable housing. And this is just one of those ways, one of those tools in the toolkit that we can do. I second pretty much everything that Peter Kildee said in regards to this. I also want to just point that, you know, Haven on Main is a project that is here in the city of La Crosse where we are located. And we were very saddened to see that they were denied their exemption so that they could be on the master meter. This is a very beautiful project. It's got a lot of sustainability pieces to it. And this is a huge roadblock for a wonderful community action agency trying to increase the number of affordable units in our community while also being sustainable. And so it is a shame that that was denied. And it's a huge impact to our community. I also wanted to make a note that, again, this is not in line with the way other utilities are provided to apartments. So, you know, water and whatnot does not have to be master metered. So the question as to why we can't do this for electrical. And then the other thing was that our partner states around us have actually eliminated this as a requirement and allow master metering. And so they can also provide access to safe and affordable housing at a lower rate, at a faster speed to meet the needs of its communities. And I would like to see the state of Wisconsin also stepping up and allowing developers to provide more affordable housing for families in our community. And this is a really great opportunity to eliminate kind of an arcane rule that will allow us to do so. Thank you.
All right, thanks very much. Next, we have Leslie. So if you'd like to speak, we'll need to, can you get
No,
your,
thank you.
no comment. Okay. I'll let the screen readjust here. Okay, I don't see anyone else from the, oh, Don Ferber, sorry. You jumped to the top somehow. There you are. All right, we're gonna swear you in. Do you swear or affirm? Tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, welcome back to the commission's hearings.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here again. Thank you for listening to my testimony. Actually, I'm just going to provide some testimony today, but I have not had a chance to review the proposal completely, so I may have some other written comments with details on that. But
Okay.
overall, my comment is, and based on what was said too, that it looks like the previous rule, the standing rule, is from 23 years ago or whatever, when it, for the most part, made sense at that time. Things have changed considerably since then, with the new technology and capabilities, the solar, everything else, and where we're going. And at this point in time, it doesn't support the needs in all these cases. And part of the problem is it's adding considerable cost, as has sort of previously been noted, as exists if they have to get individual meters on buildings to the situation and to what residents pay. Because it's not only the meters they pay for, but they pay the individual monthly bills from fixed fees on their bills. And then there's all the infrastructure that has to go in, not only from the utility, but then in putting in solar systems, which I think would also create added instability and reliability issues. If you can have single connections rather than multiple, you've got less things to go wrong. And also, the electricity doesn't necessarily flow one way. It may flow back to the grid. So the fact that it can be much more variable rather than on a single point basis, I'm not quite sure how that's done, but would seem to add added complexity. But as was well pointed out, this is an issue in terms of who can afford this. Right now, we want people to put in more solar. We've got the governor's goals on climate change and going to 100% renewable electricity. And we're moving increasingly towards electricity, even for our heating. So this is really in line with what's been proposed, where this directions our state is taking, is to allow individual metering, allow single metering where it makes sense. And in a lot of cases, it does. I mean, if you look at the fixed bills that people pay, often I think even if you're only in a 20-unit building, you'd be adding maybe $300 minus $15 a month just for that 20-unit building on the fixed fees they'd be paying, let alone everything else that goes along with it. And also, I think, right now everybody tends to get their own individual furnace or air conditioner or whatever. I think it's going to be much easier then to put in like a single heat pump for a building and use that and then determine how the energy is distributed and even used if they want to do that. We have great technology in terms of monitoring use. So I think it really, but is the equity issue here, based upon what the intent of the rule is to serve people better in a more equitable basis. That worked that many years ago when this last rule was put in place. At this point, it is impeding following that directive. And so I think it very much needs to be changed, and I support changing the rule. Thank you.
All right, thanks very much. Okay, I don't see anyone else on the list that I haven't invited to comment. And we have, it's already, let's see, 10:25. So I'm not expecting new people to join us at this point. I will say that written comments are still, there's still an opportunity to file those. I'm going to share the notice hearing again. There we go. So like I mentioned before, March 24th is the deadline for written comments. They can be filed online or mailed to us. We just need to receive them by the deadline. And otherwise, I think we're good to go. This transcript will be provided to the commissioners as well as the written comments. So appreciate everyone attending and giving us your thoughts on the proposal. And that's it. Thanks very much. We're adjourned.